Today is Saturday, April 4th, 2020. I am Julie Hankinson, and this is the view out my window. Well, I got out of the house again. This was my one day a week. It was my turn at the post office. I know that in the States you all are having social distancing and limited numbers at Costco and some of the pharmacies. Well, we have that also here in Japan. And so whenever I go on base, we are questioned as we go on base. We are questioned as we leave the base. And the correct answer is, I'm going to the commissary to get food, or I am going directly home. You do not say anything about, I'm going to pay the rent. So we have a system set up where we are only supposed to go to the post office on certain days. And when the post office time has been limited to 4 hours. And when you stand in line, you have to stand 6 feet apart. So this morning I got to the post office 30 minutes ahead of time, and that got me 29th place in line, which meant that we were already wrapping around the front part of the of the post office as we stood in line. And it was interesting to see even the little children knew that they were supposed to be practicing social distancing. And it was just fun watching them run around the trees, but they couldn't get too close, so they couldn't play tag. And this is our new reality. So by the time I finally got up to the door, when the post office did open for the small amount of time, we had a line wrapped around the entire post office and down the block. Now, the post office here is, of course, military, and it is extremely efficient. And they were passing out pieces of paper with pins to have us write down our box number, and they would actually have the packages waiting for us by the time we got up to the door, so that we didn't have to stand close to each other and breathe the same air. It was a very efficient process, and everybody was, of course, very patient. Because when you have someone that is taking the time to do something well, they're organized, they're efficient, they are helping you. Everybody is very patient, and we all knew that we were going to get our turn, and everyone was joking and smiling, and because, quite frankly, if you maintain your sense of humor, things do go better. And again, I told you previously about the fact that when you go to the commissary over here, like at Costco, well, you have to wait your turn. And so, because there's only 68 people allowed to be in the store at one time. So in the United States, you have one-way aisles now, and you have limited numbers, and you can't buy certain things. Well, that's happening over here, but they just limit the hours, and they do have cones placed all over. I mean, there is only one way in and one way out, and everybody is monitored. You don't bring in anyone extra. So don't think that you're the only ones that are being subjected to this. It is all to hopefully flatten this infection rate, because this has just gotten out of hand. and we all know it. So I was looking at some of the cute little videos that have been coming out of the United States. People, of course, who are all stuck in self-isolation and all the crazy things that they're getting it up to, and making TikTok videos, and it came into my feed, some of the ones that were slipped out of China, and they were doing equally crazy stuff that I had never seen before, and it was really cute. They had some people that were practicing for the Olympics, and swimming on a coffee table with their face in a bucket of water. It was there was some that were doing the lion dance during the Chinese New Year. And of course, people there, as here, are trying to learn new skills and abilities. For the younger members, it's trying to learn some of those TikTok dances. And for me, I've finally taken up ballet, which I'm so thankful that there are some ballerinas that are actually posting beginner ballet classes for all ages on YouTube videos. I'm also very thankful that there are people who are showing us how to make masks, because every time I go to the grocery store, even over here in Japan, in a country that is famous for people who wear their masks all the time, there are no masks. Absolutely. There's this huge, massive area of the store. It is completely blank shelves, and that's where the masks used to be. And here in Japan, people are beginning to make their own cloth masks because they no longer just have access to the paper disposable masks that they used to have and wear. And I find it amazing that the CDC is finally getting around to saying, well, wearing a mask is probably a good idea. Duh. I mean, we have known that. Anyone with a lick of sense would know that from the very beginning. If it's aerosol, infection, if somebody sneezes, of course you don't want to get in their sneeze zone. For goodness gracious, you don't want to breathe their aerosol droplets. Wear a mask. Yes, I know that you can also get infections infected through the mucous membranes of the eye. So wear a pair of goggles. I saw some really cute little children today wearing goggles. Some of them have them bedazzled. It is just, again, it's how you approach this. Are you going to be boring and mundane, or are you going to create your own personal style around this? So I think that is the best way for us to move forward with this, is to inject as much creativity and humor as we possibly can. And I know that there are people who are boring as all get out and don't think that they have a creative bone in their body, but yet they can pull the cutest pranks on other people. And I know if they can create a prank to impose on a fellow lab mate, someone else in the lab, that they can come up with something creative for their masks or to post online. So let's all commit to doing something totally humorous or creative to lighten this time, and to share it with someone else, even if all you're doing is sharing a picture on Instagram or Twitter, or if you're creative enough to work TikTok. Definitely, if you're capable of posting on YouTube, I would love to see it. I have seen people. There's one lady that does the staff twirling, like Obi-Wan. They've got the staff, and they've the whole fighting thing, and she's teaching that to people. And I just think as we all share our skills and our abilities, and how to make face masks out of a kerchief and two hair elastics, without sewing. Oh boy, that one was really good. And definitely needed, because we don't all have sewing machines, and it seems to take forever when you're doing it by hand. So I just think that there are a lot of really creative people out there that can help us all to get through this time. And if nothing else, if it's not that creative, well, we'll have fun laughing at you. And I hope that you'll be brave enough to allow us to do that. That we can all share and laugh at each other and laugh with each other. And with that, I hope to see you all here again tomorrow night. And you all have a safe night and take care.